Welcome to YuGiohCast or YuGiohCast. I kind of forgot what our name is. Regardless, we are finally back. We have me, Solemn Yugioh, and Yugioh Tube right here. Welcome back. I'm very excited to have you.
Very excited to be here. It has been too long, far too long.
Absolutely. So for people who aren't aware, we took a little break, but now we're back. And the previous episode is actually up on Yugioh Tube's channel right now. So if you want to tag along with every episode, be sure to subscribe to both channels. And today we are once again checking out a booster box and essentially going over what cards we think are very interesting and which ones maybe aren't interesting. But again, that's all opinionated. Instead of doing a Duel Monsters box, today we are actually doing a GX box, Cybernetic Revolution, my personal favorite from that era. What do you think about this particular box?
I love it. It's got to be up there, top two, top three GX boxes for me. It might actually be number one if thinking about it. This Elemental Energy and maybe the Lost Millennium, actually, which kind of comes as a surprise, would be my top three.
Wow,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something like Shadow of Infinity or Phantom Darkness, maybe Light of Destruction. But yeah, I mean, the Lost Millennium has some big bangers as well.
Yeah, but CRV by far it takes the cake. Like it's a pretty clear gap between CRV and the rest for me. Cyber End Dragon is just a staple for me. I always thought of it as the metallic new age Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Like that's how I always thought of CRV.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. It's also like you have your kind of arrogant, epic kind of antagonist. I guess not really. Some people would say Chaz is the antagonist for Jaden, but I mean he has so many antagonists, so it's whatever, right? But yeah, I feel you 100%. So today, since these lineups are a bit different from Duel Monsters boxes, in Duel Monsters boxes we would go over the supers, the ultras, the secrets, and be done with it. Here we have ultimate rares of every rare, super, and ultra. So now we also have to cover the actual rares. However, there's some pretty cool rares, so stick around. I'll try to maybe put some timestamps so people can follow along and maybe they want to skip the rares. Feel free to do so, but personally, there's some bangers there. So how about we start basically with the rares, right? We have the first one, Dimension Wall. What do you think of that one?
Skip. Skip.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel you. Card's kind of boring, though. I do have to say, you have the DD things right here on there. You have DD Warrior Lady and DD. Damn, what's his name? Is it just DD Warrior? I don't.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Actually, I never fully inspected this card until now. I just thought it was just an ultimate that was terrible. But no, it looks like who
I
was
know it's
that?
a Warrior 1800 attack, I think, but I forgot its actual name.
Yeah, it's like Warrior Day Graphi or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that. Something like that.
that's the name. Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, the card's pretty forgettable. I always laugh when people are saying, oh, I'm going to buy out these ultis, and then they choose these random 50-cent trap cards that no one ever cared about, but it is what it is. So I guess we can go to DD Trap Hole then. I feel like this is in a similar vein, but the art is slightly cooler. Like it at least has some stuff going on. Overall, again, it's one of those whatever ultis. That's also why the hobby retail difference exists in the first place.
Yeah, I mean the only positive is it's a trap hole, so that's where I'm like, okay, there's some like old nostalgic feel to it when there was trap hole, bottomless trap hole, and then DD trap hole, and even acid trap hole. So there's a lot of different trap holes. I didn't realize as well with this artwork. I'm looking at it. It looks like a Moki Moki is just looking at the top of the hole, just waving goodbye to the goblin.
Wow, I hadn't even seen that. That's crazy. Yeah, this is just your typical goblin kind of guy. It's a somewhat cool card, but again, I wouldn't really go wild on these. Then we have Rising Energy. Now, I do have to say, Rising Energy's ulti is pretty cool. I'm not a Rising Energy fan, but when you put this thing in 3D, it pops different because the background is actually much darker and the guy pops out. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah, no, I could see it. My problem is it was a dread for me when I was buying CRV packs back before I didn't know there was a retail hobby difference. And I kept buying packs over and over and over again. And the only ultimate I would ever seem to get would be Rising Energy. And it just left this horrible taste in my mouth. I was like, this is not Cyber Dragon. This is not Cyber Twin, not Cyber N, Wing Kuribo level 10. This is none of that. Like, this is horrible. So I have a bad portrayal of this card. Unfortunately, it could have been the best artwork ever, but this is the card that I always was disappointed because I pulled that ultimate and I got excited, and it was always this card.
I'll give you that. That's totally okay. Oh yeah, and you would have also pulled them as Americans, so you wouldn't even have that insane pop on them, right?
Yeah, no, the Euro pops different. It really does. Like it's amazing the difference between the two.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, then I get you. So then we go into Magical Explosion. This card was broken AF in the card game, but beyond that, it's again whatever. I do think it pops nicely, like the Rising Energy. If anyone has seen that before, Magical Explosion in Ulti. Once again, the little guy itself pops out from the much darker background then, but overall, I don't know. What's your thoughts on this one?
Not a fan of this one either. This would be a skip for me. But I did just notice again when I actually analyzed the artworks here, again, because it was never an expensive card or a rare usable card. I never really looked at it too closely. This looks like it believe it's old Vindictive Magician. Is that the character?
Yeah, it's Old Vindictive Magician.
Yeah. So it is
That
cool once you actually really analyze and start looking at the picture itself instead of just saying, oh, this is like crap, then it actually looks kind of cool. So far, my favorite was either the DD trap hole or the first one, actually, the dimensional, was it dimensional wall? Was that the one? Was it the DD warrior lady?
Yep.
Yeah. So those two for me take the cake so far. What's yours so far? Rising Energy?
Um, I think Magical Explosion because I look at it from a player perspective. So I'm like, wow, this FTK disgusting card. I gotta give it to that. But from an art perspective, probably Rising Energy. Then we would move into Fire Darts. I don't know if you're a fan of this one. Personally, it's pretty cool looking, but I'm not in love with it or anything.
Yeah, this one I thought looked cooler. Again, not a fan of the card at all. Probably one to skip, but the artwork actually looks pretty cool with the skull there. It's pretty cool.
So then we would move into, I guess, the more fan favorite ones because we have Spark Blaster. So if you're an elemental hero collector, do you want to not only go for all the elemental heroes, but also all of their side cards? Good luck.
Yeah.
Personally, this one once again pops real nice because the background is this basically flat, but then the thing itself pops out when it goes ulti. Beyond that, again, I'm not a huge e-hero simp or anything like that. I don't know if anyone is actually motivated enough to actually grab all of the spell cards as well beyond the ulti e-heroes. Do you know anyone like that?
I do not, but there was the one spell card. I don't know if it was CRV or another set that had all of them. It was like, oh, it was Tactile Evolution. I don't know if you know that one, but it had all four E heroes, the original ones. It's like Hero Unite or something, or Hero something.
I don't remember the name either, but I do know which card you're talking about with like the one light behind them, I guess. Like it's this one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know. Spark Blaster, it was used a lot, but it's one of those rare ultis where you're like, eh. Next up, Bubble Shuffle. It's very whatever for me.
Yeah, so far Spark Blaster has been my favorite. Bubble Shuffle was pretty terrible, pretty poor. That has to be the worst one for me so far. All it is just water bubbles. Like I want to see cool characters. I want to see death. I literally want to see skulls
like slow burn that we had on IOC, or what was the full name? Something with
oh,
burn.
Big Burn, Big Burn. Oh,
Yeah, sorry, that one. That's just one word.
Terrible.
It's the same way. This is the water version of Big Burn.
Terrible. Oh my
god. Transcendent Wings. Now this is a pretty cool one. It has some of that, in my opinion, because of the symmetry, like some of that Monster Reborn change of heart vibes through it, in my opinion.
Yeah. This is a winner. This is a winner for me.
Would you agree this is the coolest one so far?
Oh, for sure. For sure. This to me would be up there with, I'm sure you're going to cover it, Bubble Man and the Ultra Ultis. This is way up there for me. This would maybe be top 5.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we have System Down. Personally, don't give a damn about it. It's cool, but it's just a big tower.
Yeah, I always looked at it as a pretty expensive card. I think it was always kind of expensive, right? Like pretty much when it came out.
Yeah, because you target. What did you ruin with it? I guess everyone playing Cyber Dragon, Dekoichi, Card Trooper, and so forth.
Yeah, yeah. I always remember this being expensive, but it wasn't my favorite card. But I gotta give it props for being like useful in the game.
Mhm. Yeah. So next up, for people who are like now, like, why are they blazing through everything? Obviously, we don't want to sit and analyze rares that not many people care about for hours on end. So next up, we have a Miracle Fusion. I guess this is a big one. Like anyone, if you're an Elemental Hero collector, I get that you don't want Bubble Shuffle, but I would say you at least want Miracle Fusion. Like this card was used to make all of those fusion elemental heroes, and I don't know. I think it's pretty iconic. What do you feel about this card?
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's got to be up there. I say this with everyone. I feel like, but no, this is better than Transcendent Wings. This might be aside from Cyber N my on my number two on my list
Oh,
here. It might be. It might
wow.
be. It's up there.
That's a
Um,
big statement. We'll have to challenge that at one point with some of these cards. We'll see. Then we have DDM, Different Dimension Master. I don't give a damn about this card. Maybe you do.
Terrible, terrible card.
Okay, we can just straight up skip him. But now we get to my boy. I love this Elemental Hero Bubble Man. This card is so iconic. Jaden's baby. Pot of Greed on legs. I can't say enough good things about it. What do you think about this one?
Gotta be up there for me. And the way the bubbles pop with the ultimate rare, like it's there. Like it's not it's basically bubble shuffle on steroids because you actually have a character actually doing something and it's an e-hero. So you gotta go. And what is it? What is it like 90, $100 now, right? First edition ulti? Gotta be.
No idea, but
Hmm.
I want one. If anyone has one that they're willing to let go of, because you know how with all of the sports cards and Pokemon cards being so high, everyone's it's a bubble. So as a meme, I wanted to like, oh, bubble man, this is a bubble. And so actually, I'm gonna just sell out right here. I made a mat. Um, I don't know if you can see that,
Heck yeah.
but it's a
That
bubble,
is amazing.
glowing bubbles with a bunch of cash, and I thought that was hilarious because it's all a bubble. Um,
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
so overall, I just love this card. He's so cool. Um, wow, yeah. I don't know what else to say. Like, if you're an elemental hero collector, you need a bubble man. It's simple as that.
Did you make that yourself? You designed it?
So I have so I have a designer which I work often for both Solemn Tones and Zero Damage Gaming. And one night I was like, hey, I've got this stupid idea. And then she just went with it. And she's like, yeah, this is gonna be so dumb. And we just went crazy. She would do something. I would say, oh, try and change this. I would add like it was insane. So she also made I don't know if you ever saw the Stonks mat, which is like Blue Eyes Toon Dragon with like
Oh
these
yeah.
she did all of that. So it's been hilarious. Basically, I come up with ridiculous ideas and she just does it amazingly. So full credit to her.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Um, so yeah, Bubble Man. I don't know what else to add. Like I want one. I don't have one. I haven't seen a PSA 10 for sale actually in a while. I've seen a 9 and I wasn't willing to spend on a 9 because I feel like the 10 would still be pretty affordable.
Yeah, I want to say the 10 was the last I've heard. The last it was like 10 was like 800, and then the 9 was like a few hundred. But I don't know. The prices these days don't even
Yeah.
know anymore.
They're currently listed 9s for 700 and 800.
Oh my goodness.
But let's see, sold. None have sold though. So like that's not the price, but none have sold. So we don't know the price of a graded bubble man currently.
Miracle Fusion. I was shocked. I was looking at as you were talking about it. It was like $100. Miracle Fusion for first
Really?
ed, unless
In
it was just an
PSA or
outlier. But let me see. Miracle Fusion.
um
Oh yeah, 50, 80, 100 graded PSA Beckett 9 250. I mean
there,
that's
there's a 10 listed for 2.5k and someone's claiming it's pop 1 probably because of the wrong attribution.
oh yeah. Yeah. 23 watchers on that. 23 watchers.
Yeah. I guess people just want to see like imagine if that sells. Because
Hmm.
people need to realize probably a good thing to talk about right now the difference between retail and hobby. I've mentioned it on the channel before, and you have mentioned it. So there's some mentions, but like this is a crucial difference. Like some people are thinking that they're gonna open this retail box and are gonna pull Cyber End Dragon or anything like that, but there's like two categories of boxes for anyone who doesn't know. And in your hobby box, you only find supers and ultras in their ultimate form. And in retail, you only find the rares. And so for that reason, the rares are just way cheaper because the boxes are cheaper. You don't have the same chase. You essentially are looking at two entirely different pools. And so I don't think Miracle Fusion should be 2.5 like it's listed there because it's a rare. And so forever there will be a hard cap on how high these rares can go because the supers and ultras in ultimate form would have to go way higher first, right? So I don't know. Is that, in your opinion, not helping Bubble Man?
I don't know. I mean, it's an e-hero still, you know.
I
And
know.
actually, another thing is with the retail boxes, you could have this reverse psychology at this point to where retail boxes are so expensive to where people just buying the box, the retail box, are holding the sealed box, and they're like, okay, I'm not going to get a Cyber End Dragon. I'm not going to open it. And now all of a sudden, no one's opening retail product of Cybernetic Revolution, and all of a sudden now Bubble Mans might become harder to get because no one's going to open a box at $2,000 where there's no shot of a Cyber Dragon or Cyber End.
That's true. That's actually a really good point. I hadn't considered that. Wow. Do we actually know anything about the population differences in terms of boxes? Like I assume hobby boxes are more rare than retail boxes, but do we know by how much?
That's a good question. I can't answer. I have no idea. But I would imagine. Well, I guess you also have to consider that the blister packs were out there and the Targets and Walmart, so that's a whole nother line, I guess.
Mhm.
So you got to imagine it's substantially rare, the hobby boxes, since those were only at hobby shops, hobby stores, whereas the other one was mass distributed through not only some hobby shops got the retail versions like that they ordered, but other ones got the Targets and Walmarts and the big box stores got the blisters, which added again a whole nother line of product. So
Yeah. I mean, because of that, I might want to say that Bubble Man and all these rares are still forever gonna have like a pretty painful cap on their potential. Even though again it's an e-hero, and I do want one. If anyone has a Bubble Man, I'm very interested.
I'm
Um,
looking at the pop reports. The first edition Ultimate Rare Bubble Mans. This is when they attributed the Ultimate Rares. There's 4 10s out of 16 graded, which not that great, 25%. And then the other one, first edition regular, is 13 10s out of 29. But again, there had to be a lot of just rares that were graded as well. So don't
yes.
really know.
So the pop might only be like 8 copies or something in 10.
Never know. Never know.
Yeah, I mean, just a gamble given what we do know, and then the variable of people potentially grading rares. Then we have Dark Catapulter. I don't give a damn about this card. It was a Jaden card, but like, whatever.
Terrible, terrible
If
card.
any Dark Catapulter fans in the comments down below, let me know. And
I
that'd
can't
be
even see. I'm trying to see like what the actual art is here, and it's. I remember pulling it. I'm like, I can't even. It just looks like a glob. Okay, so it is like a little dragon that's kind of like made of rock or clay, per se.
it's a machine, so it must be some type of robot anyway. But
Yeah, yeah, no, no. It looks like a failed Pokemon experiment.
yes. Then we have Rottweiler. So this is a bit of an odd one in the sense that if you're an Elemental Hero fan, maybe you do want this. But again, you're kind of reaching, though it's a good boy. I gotta give him that. It's a good boy. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, no, I like it. It's above average, certainly above average. I wouldn't be thrilled to pull it, you know, if I'm buying CRV. It's not number one that I'm looking for, but I would be okay with it. I would not be disappointed pulling it either.
Yeah. The Euro ulti also looks very good because the dog pops out of the background quite well. But it's still just I don't know. For me, I'll agree it's basically average. It's probably better than all of the jank we've spoken of, but it's not as good as a Bubble Man or something like that. So then the final oh no, this was the final rare actually. We're now already moving into super rares. We have our first super, that's Skyscraper. I bet you have something to say about this card. I'll let you go first.
Terrible, 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 terrible.
Wow.
I don't
So
like this at all. I just don't.
Wow. I mean, if you're a hero fan, you kind of need to respect the card though.
It's cool, but again, and this is again one of those side effects of I don't want to pull a spell card, a field
Oh,
spell card when I'm buying CRV. I want to pull like a badass monster, a cyber dragon, a machine, something cool. Yeah, it's elemental hero, blah blah blah. It's related, but it's not even an hero. I want the characters themselves.
I
It's
see.
not for me. Not for me.
Wow, okay. I mean, it's fine to disagree, right? I personally like Skyscraper. Like, I will take this gladly over some of the other supers we're gonna get to. Obviously, not over the proper ultras. Um, but yeah, I mean, considering now we hit some actual superstars, we have Cyber Twin Dragon. That is a baby. I'm a Zane fanboy. Cyber Twin Dragon is so cool. Makes no sense to me how cheap I'm still able to buy these, considering how much higher the Cyber Dragon and the Cyber End Dragon are. I know it's like probably in third place compared to those, but I don't know. I think this card is cool. What do you think of it?
Definitely cool. I mean, it's amazing. It's like the Blue Eyes Ultimate with two heads with a machine, format. It's amazing. It's amazing card. It's way undervalued compared to Cyber Dragon, and Cyber End Dragon. There's no reason that card should be the price it is. Again, just an amazing card. Nothing else to say, but amazing.
Yeah, I basically agree. It also pops beautifully in Euro Ulti. I'm probably being very biased here for Europe, but it just hits different.
Well, everything in Euro like hits different. I'm trying to actually remember. There was a few cards specifically that were in Euro Ulti that just looked so much better, but I just can't remember on the top of them. It may have been like Ancient Gear Golem or something. I don't 100% remember, but I just remember having a card in Euro and a card in regular, and I'm like, sell the freaking US version, sell the North American version. There's no
I think
question
actually
about it.
Cyber Dragon might be up there. Because like its purple background in Euro, it's not just the lines like this, it also has lines like this over it. It's very different.
Uh, yeah, no, I just have the US version or the North American version.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't do it justice, unfortunately.
I'm sure it's still epic. Like I would want either of them, but I vividly remember Cyber Dragon itself in Euro being very hardcore. Speaking of
Oh, you know what it was? The Shining Flare Wingman in Euro print.
oh, I haven't seen like I've never held a Shining Flare Wingman Ultimate actually. So I have
That
no.
card in Euro print just looks crazy. Or I think it was a card Neos Force. I think it was like something from like Tactical Evolution where it has like Elemental Hero Neos, and it's him doing a Kamehameha kind of deal, like a Dragon Ball Z kind of. I don't know if
Oh,
you remember that card.
Neo.
Um,
I gotta check it out real quick. Um.
it
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that card looks amazing. I have that in Euro, and I'm like, this is the most epic card. Or like the one with Gaia on it from Flaming Eternity, Spiral Spear Strike or something.
Spiral speed. Oh no, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Absolutely, I agree. Because the little like energy thing around it also pops differently from it. Yeah. Oh
Yeah, it's
yeah,
amazing.
100%. So next we have Bes Crystal Core. I hate this card. Um, and maybe you'll disagree, and that's fine. But essentially, I remember opening Cybernetic Revolution as well and pulling this and just being so mad because I knew what else I could pull. So it's basically you with Rising Energy. It's me with BES Crystal Core. So to
Oh
me, this is
man.
BES Crystal Core. Um, do you like this one?
No, no, this is the card like everyone dread, and especially if I like slow rolled it. So if I knew like an ultimate was coming, or this was the hollow part of the pack, and then I saw an effect monster, and I'm like, oh, here we go. This could be Cyber Dragon, and then I slide it over, and I see the ultimate, and it's the wrong one. I'm like,
You know the other thing? It also has 2,100 attack points. So if you're not paying attention to the length of the effect, you're like 2,100.
oh wow. So if you like slid it from underneath, if you took the card and then just slid it up, that would suck.
Yeah. At least the defense is different, but the first thing you see is the attack, right?
Yeah. Oh my
I don't
god.
like
Terrible card. Terrible. I'm looking at it now and I'm like, this has no, it doesn't even look cool. It just looks like an icicle. Like it literally looks like an icicle with like some laser.
Yeah, and the worst part as a player, it also sucked. You had to normal summon it, so you had to tribute stuff for it, and then you put counters on it. And
It's
I mean,
terrible.
maybe I was a bad player, but uh. So speaking of here's Goblin Elite Attack Force. I hate it. It's the same. Like at least I don't have a traumatic experience with this one. How about you?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I actually kind of like it, believe it or not. Again, it has the same thing. It's an effect monster. You get disappointed with it. But for whatever reason, it just brought back memories of Pharaoh Servant and Goblin Attack Force. And Goblin Attack Force back then was actually pretty good because it had so much attack. And
Mhm.
so it's like it's just a cool variation of the original Pharaoh Servant card, which is why I'll give it some props. I'll give it some
I gotta
props, but
give
that's just me. Again, it's disappointing if you're buying a CRV box right now for $3,000 and you're getting Goblin Elite Attack Force, you're gonna want to kill somebody. But it's okay. It's all right. At least it's nostalgic.
Okay, I give you that. Also, the ulti does pop quite nicely. I gotta give it that. But I don't know. There's so many big hits you can get out of CRV. At that point, I'm like, really, really, this one.
Yeah.
Um, Next up, I saw this one pulled a lot on unboxings because basically I have watched every CRV unboxing on YouTube, including yours, including Old School Expert, including Simply Unlucky, all of them. Because I wanted to see a Cyber End Dragon pulled, and it hasn't happened. There has not been a Cyber End Dragon pull on YouTube yet. And here's Cybernetic Magician.
Oh,
I,
oh.
I I don't like this card. I don't know what about you.
No, no. It's like again the disappointment, and it's like the wannabe like magician. I'm looking at magicians. The one from Flaming Eternity is so much better. The effect stinks, but it's so much better. What is Blast Magician? Blast Magician. That one looks so much better. Like the
Oh,
artwork
yeah,
on
I
Blast Magician, it's just you can't
yeah.
even compare it. You can't even compare it. So yeah, that was a terrible, terrible card. It was the one you just don't want to pull. Awful.
It's also it starts with cyber, so if you like slide your card the wrong way,
Oh.
cyber and
Oh man, that now someone needs to open. But if anyone out there has a sealed box, like I would get people together. I'd not put in a couple bucks to watch an opening, a live opening for a CRV box. I would spend a couple dollars, and if everyone chipped in, I think we could make it a
yeah.
little less painful. Anyone that wants to open it, but
Ruxin, where are you?
yeah, Ruxin 34, paging Ruxin 34. I'll watch your ads like 10 times.
Yeah, same, same. I'll if he make does he have a Patreon yet?
I think he does. Yeah, I think he
Okay,
does.
I'll sub to your Patreon. I'll be a simp that way. Just open CRV.
Oh man.
Okay, so now we get to a very big hitter. We have Cyber Dragon. I think we're now gonna take 5 to 10 minutes to just simp over one card right here. It is Cyber Dragon. It is Machine Blue Eyes. It is GX Blue Eyes. It was broken in the game, so they all got destroyed because everyone wanted to play it in max rarity. Even to this day, there are players playing Cyber with ultis in their deck, destroying collectors' items in droves.
Oh man.
Card
I
so cool.
I love it. I love it. And back then, as you said, it was amazing when it came out. And it remains amazing today, like in decks. It's amazing how when did CRV come out? 2006? Something like that. Oh five,
Yeah,
oh
something
six.
like that. I forgot.
That has to be that's 15 about 15 years of dominance for one card one and it basically created the format, the Cyber Dragon deck, the Cyber Dragon format. I mean it revolutionized the game. So it's the probably the best super that I could even think of um turned ulti, but I'm thinking of other supers and their impact on the game, and I'm not sure there's been a super in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh, aside from like Raigeki, Dark Hole, polymerization, that kind of stuff, that has the impact that Cyber Dragon has.
I agree. Um, it, it changed the format. It's the reason that Goat doesn't include any of this because it would completely alter what Goat even is. Like, just your opponent has a board, Cyber Dragon, crash into it, or Cyber Dragon tribute for a Monarch or for a Jinzo. Like, it is so good. It's insane.
Like it
and
just
then
stood the test of time. I mean,
yeah,
that's the crazy thing. It hasn't ever flinched. There hasn't been a year or 2 years where everyone's like, "Oh, Cyber Dragon's not good. It's not good." I mean, it's been good for 15 years.
yeah. I mean, I'll have to give it. It does require its legacy support to stay updated, and right now it's basically like a good rogue deck, but still, that is insane. That is wow. And then we haven't even spoken at that point about the anime iconic impact, right? Like just saying summoning this, probably the most competitive deck we ever saw in an anime, because usually anime decks are kind of shit, but then this one was actually proper. He was the best. He was
That makes me want to buy like Toon Cyber Dragons now. Like I just remember that card existed.
yeah.
It kind of makes me want to go and buy it. Like just buy a playset or even start grading some just for collection purposes. Like it's a rare, but man, if they make that thing like ulti one day,
Oh,
I'm in.
absolutely. Oh, actually, speaking of ulti, I don't know if you saw, but OTS 16 will have an ulti Cyber Dragon.
Yeah, alt art, right?
Yeah, yeah, it probably will be like the dark Cyber Dragon because you have this Cyber Dark structure deck coming out. So it'll probably be to commemorate that. That's at least good. I would be very sad if they just remade this ulti and made it easier to get. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think we could simp over Cyber Dragon for hours. Maybe we shouldn't, but it's what it is. The only thing not helping it, and let's not be super biased, is that it is a super, because that makes it slightly less rare. But of course, the amount of people who played it add to that rarity regardless.
Yeah, plus the ulti version. That was the best thing where they were like, okay, here the players could have the more common version, and then the collectors can get that real chase value. Like that was an amazing idea, the variation there by Konami. And I remember seeing Ultimate Rares for the first time, and I said, wow, these things are amazing. There's nothing more revolutionary than the Ultimate Rares and the Ghost Rares, in my opinion. Since then, we've had Prismatics, and they look nice, but I just don't think they carry that same like pizzazz that the Ultimate did when it came in.
I agree. Like people have to remember right now, every card game and their mom has the craziest imprint this 3D this. We're gonna add more glitter and everything. But like back then, the fact that they would add relief to these cards, like adding that depth with a press and then make that was completely new. Maybe there was a sports cards in the 90s that did that. I don't know. I'm not a sports card guy, but from all the card games I've seen at that time, no one else did that.
And the attribute stars and the attribute themselves, like that's what made it nice, like especially with the monster cards, the attribute stars being foil at that time. You're like, I remember actually for the first time seeing an ultimate rare, it was in the OCG Gemini Elf. One of my friends, like I guess somehow bought a card from Japan, I don't know how he did it, and it was a Gemini Elf with that uncensored artwork, the lower cut top, and it was ultimate rare. And I was like, whoa, is this card like real or it has to be fake? Like I'm like, there's no way, but it was apparently real. And that was before, the internet was really a big thing. So I was like, I don't know what kind of rarity this card is.
Wow. I
Super
think the
cool.
first ulti I ever saw is actually far less exciting. I think it was the trap card. Um, is this little round object with a chain, and the object is being thrown at you in a chain behind. I forgot which
D
one it.
chain, is it? Is that the one?
Um, D chain. Let me quickly check that out.
I know there was
Uh,
a D chain ulti, I believe. I don't know what set it was from though.
no, it's not D chain. D chain would have been real cool actually. No, it was far less cool than that. I
Yeah.
don't know, something with explosion or blast or chain burst. I found
Chain
it,
burst. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but that's not all that exciting.
No, no, yeah. Yeah, chain burst. Yeah. Huh.
It
Wow.
is. But yeah, Cyber Dragon, I mean, we can simp for hours. I guess we should move on to the final super, and that is Uforoid. I'll let you go first on that one.
Oh god, it's terrible. It's awful. It's as bad as any other ultimate for me.
Oh,
I do not like Uforoid at all. It's for me on the same level as Cybernetic Magician. I would rather have Elite Goblin Attack Force or Goblin Elite Attack Force.
okay, we're
Yeah.
about to fight. Let's go. So, Uforoids, for me, I get you in the sense that, it's just you're hoping for Cyber Dragon or whatever, and it isn't. So I feel you on that one. But essentially, I would role play as a kid because at the time, how old was I? 2005, so I was 9 at the time of Cybernetic. And I in my head I would be Zane, and my brother would be Cyrus. And so I had this cyber deck, and he had a roid deck. So I think he had one UFO roid because having supers as a kid, no way, we all had commons. And so that was still pretty cool because it was Cyrus card. But yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a cyber dragon to me, but I would definitely take it over Goblin Elite Attack Force at least because I still like Cyrus.
No, dude, no. Comments down below. Come on. Get out of here. No. Dude. Yeah, when I think of Uforoid, I just want to like I literally, for example, if I open a box for somebody, I think it was Yugioh NYC on my channel, and it was like a $900 box, and I pulled them like a cybernetic, what is it, magician and a Uforoid. And when I pulled the Uforoid, I just really wanted to give them like $50 for dinner or something because I felt bad it was that bad. Like the box was horrible. Like Uforoid Fighter, which we'll get to, I'll give you that. But Uforoid, absolutely, it might be my least favorite of the entire set.
Whoa!
Absolutely not.
Too far. Oh no.
Well, aside from those like the trap cards, like I'll throw that. Like trap cards are trash. But like right now, I consider Uforoid the same as like Dark Catapulter. I feel like they're like the same level right now.
Oh no. I disagree. Okay, people in the chat down there, vote for Uforoid gang, hashtag it. We want the Uforoid gang to rise up.
Oh my god.
Wow, against the evil bully Yu-Gi-Oh 2, because this
yeah, I'm gonna get cursed pulling a Uforoid. I'm like, I think it's in like DRO4 too. So I'm gonna like open a DRO4 one day on my channel, and I'm gonna get Uforoid or something as a rare or something. Just like, oh.
All the comments will rise up at that point with the hashtag. I can already see it.
Uforoid to the moon. Yeah, it just gets bought out right now, and then it spikes to like $500 after this video.
I mean, let's see how expensive it actually is. Uforoid first, ultimate PSA. I don't know if there's even any PSAs out there. You can buy a PSA 8 for $70.
Wow, that's actually pretty good money for an 8. It's pretty good.
I mean, it's still pretty cheap considering the grading costs right now. But let's see, light plates 35, 46, 22.
I see a light plate for 23. It's not that bad.
At 20. Yeah, it seems you can buy them at 22. Medium play for 12 here. So it's a very cheap card. The market tends to agree with you.
Oh god, yeah. That's, to me, it's like if I pull a Uforoid, I'm depressed. I just can't. Like, aside from the traps.
How about this? If you ever open Cybernetic Revolution on your channel and you pull a Uforoid, I will buy it.
Oh, I'll give it to you for free. I don't want.
Oh wow, we have some historic stuff going on the podcast right now.
It's gonna happen too. Like now, or if Ruxin will get a box, he'll pull a Uforoid. It's gonna happen.
Wow.
Or we should take bets. If he pulls a Uforoid, then I gotta buy you lunch or something at one point. Like, it's just, I'll buy you a flight to the States, and then we'll get lunch, and then we'll. Actually, wait, take that off. I don't forget, because he's gonna pull it. So renege that.
I guess we should move to the ultras. We have Power Bond. So if you're a Uforoid fan, maybe you could use Power Bond to. Oh no, because it needs to be a machine. Is Uforoid Fighter a machine? No, right? No, it is a machine. So if you are a Uforoid fan, if you are part of the gang, you can use Power Bond on Uforoid to make Uforoid Fighter. What do you think, Power Bond?
Again, it's not a card that I like personally like at all, but I've always been like, wow, it's an expensive card because I guess it's used, and this is kind of the era where I stopped playing. So yes, I will get blasted in the comments saying like, no wonder he doesn't like Uforoid. He didn't play the game. He's a scrub and a noob. But yeah, a Power Bond I could respect because it was always used in decks. I personally have never used it. The artwork to me is very meh. It's very just, it's a machine. It's like a factory kind of deal, but I give it props for always having use.
Yeah. So I agree with the fact that the art isn't that amazing. The only reason the art in my head is actually cool is because if you watch the anime at that point, it's like Cyrus got that from Zane. And it was a super powerful card and he used it wrong and so forth. And Zane would use it and like win with a gigantic Cyber End Dragon of 8,000 attack. And so that gave it this allure of it being like super powerful. And that way I like it. But I realize, like, if I look at the art objectively, it's just a machine. I think it's an ancient gear part, actually. If you look closely, it's the same type of gear, the same type of screws. It might be an ancient gear.
It's actually really cool. Yeah, I didn't even notice that part of it because I'm a
Yeah,
big Ancient Gear fan.
it looks like ancient gear drill or some part of that
Hmm.
zoomed in. If you look closely.
Yeah. You are right. I see it there. Yeah, it would be cool if if it was like the construction of an ancient gear golem of sorts, but we'll
Yeah,
never.
something like that. That's what I imagine, at least when I look at it.
It's actually
Um,
cool. Huh.
but I do agree, it's not the most exciting art either.
Hmm.
Though again, if you are like a Cyber Dragon collector, let's say you've got your Cyber Dragons, you've got your Cyber End, you've got your Cyber Twin, Power Bond is kind of like an important extension from that, from an anime perspective.
Yeah.
So I'll currently, if I follow the list properly, we have the big boy, but I'll keep him for last maybe. So we go straight to your favorite card in the set, Uforoid Fighter.
Oh boy. No, this one I actually, believe it or not, I like it because I'm a simp for the E heroes. Like look, I'm not like a crazy fan to where it's like, "Oh my God, I need every E hero in ultimate rare, first edition, PSA 10." I don't need that, but I always respected the E heroes and in the artwork with the E hero on top of the Uforoid, which I'm actually looking into more now. It looks like Avion or Avian.
No, it's Tempest.
Oh,
The
it is Tempest. Yes, it is. Yes. So I like that. And I like that it's a fusion. I've always had a soft spot for fusions. I don't know why. I think it's just the purple background.
Mhm.
Um, and then again, not a great card by any means, but I'd also had what was it, level 10, 1, 3 to 10. Yeah. So I've always had a soft spot as well for like high attribute level
Oh
monsters.
yeah, I agree. Because like as a kid, you're like so many levels, it must be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Another interesting thing actually is that this is created when Jaden and Cyrus are playing against the brothers, the twins with their Gate Guardian. And so you
Oh
kind of
yeah.
compare it to Black Skull Dragon, where Yugi and Joey fuse Summon Skull and Red Eyes to create this new thing to take down the Gate Guardian. And here it's Cyrus and Jaden fusing these together to take down the Gate Guardian. At least that's what I remember from it.
Yeah, no,
So
that's good. Yeah. Huh.
I thought always that was pretty interesting. I do
That
have
is
to
interesting.
quickly check the trivia to see. Oh yeah, I was right. I just checked on the trivia. They also mentioned this. So it's kind of like the Black Skull Dragon of GX, if you look at it. The Paradox Twins. That's the name of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool card. I'm looking at the effect though, and it's so become equal to the combined
Oh,
original attack. Uh, yeah, pretty bad.
yeah, it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's basically whatever. But it's a cool card. The thing is, it's not an elemental hero. It's not even a warrior. And then in its requirements, it doesn't even mention elemental hero. It just requires a warrior type. So it's like it does list an elemental hero in its art. But if you're a e-hero collector, do you still want this card? I would argue it's not necessary. It's just a nice to have, I'd say.
Really? Yeah, no, personally, if I were an e-hero collector and I needed all the e-heroes, like I would go for that card in 10. Like that would be a card because it's just, in my opinion, the Tempest like is bigger than the UFO itself in the card. Like I feel like most of the imagery there is Tempest.
Mhm. Yeah, you
So
don't even see Uforoid's beautiful face on him. So he's not even there to taunt you. So you can safely collect this card without any trauma.
Oh my gosh.
So then we have Winged Kuribo level 10. I love this card personally. It's because you have to imagine once again the episode. Wow, people really think I watch this anime 24/7, but apparently, essentially, like Winged Kuribo is always seen as this, oh, just this cute little thing. It's whatever. It stops you from dying once, okay. And then suddenly, Jaden whips out this one card and turns that thing into a massive dragon that wins him the game. Like that's just insane. I love that so much. And it's also holding like the little Kuribo that I thought was really cool. So yeah, I love this card. What about you?
Oh, I'm gonna get blessed in these comments.
Oh, oh man, why are you doing this to yourself?
Overrated. I always found this card cool, but not worth the price. Cool, but not worth the price. And I always preferred the original Kuribo or the winged Kuribo more than the winged Kuribo level 10. There's alt art Kuribos as well, the ones where he's like winking at you. I like that one too. And the PCY one, which is the one where he's like a red version. Like he's more red. I don't know if you the prismatic version, the video game promo.
So the PCY, his paws are yellow instead of green, but I don't remember about the redness. But maybe,
Yeah, it seemed like
yeah.
more saturated. I
Actually,
always felt like this card, like to me, I was like, never liked it. Like I never liked it for how rare it was. I said this is like an ultra. I would rather have Uforoid Fighter or UFO. What is it?
oh,
UFO.
okay, Uforoid Fighter. You first said Uforoid. I'm like,
Oh no
what?
no 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 no. I would rather have Wing Kuribo than UFO Roid, but not by that much. I like it's just too much. It's wings, there's the head, there's two tails, one with a spike, one with like I don't know, I'm looking at it now. It just looks like a stick. I, no, it doesn't look scary to me. Like it doesn't look like dark. It just looks like eh. No, doesn't do it. Doesn't do it.
Oh, I
I
think it's so cool.
this is
Oh,
the
one
probably
thing
the last podcast we'll ever have. See, people
uh,
are going to tell us to discontinue this podcast for sure. But
you mentioned Kuribo, and I actually think Kuribo from Metal Raiders is kind of overrated. But hear me out. I love Kuribo, but the issue is
no.
On the Metal Raiders, his eyes are super like scary looking. Like that is not Kuribo's eyes. If you look at anime Kuribo, he's cute and huggable. If you look at the PCY art, he's cute and huggable. He's cute on every card except for its original MRD printing.
Yeah, but his original MRD printing, his eyes are like Pac-Man.
Yeah, they're just weird.
They're like two Pac-Man symbols. But they're
Yeah, that's
cool. They're
not how
cool
it's supposed
though.
to look like.
He looks like he hadn't slept in a while, and his hair is like extra frizzy. Like, it's I don't know, man. He does look more mean than happy. So I will say that again. It's like he's probably like hungover or he's just like had a bad day yesterday or
That's
something. I don't know.
the thing.
I don't know. Like, oh man, Win Kuribo just doesn't do it. To me, it's a gimmick that didn't pay off. And I understand it had prevalence in the show, and I do respect it for that. But for the card wise, it just to me was something I was never excited to pull. Like I'd pull it, I'd be like, oh, it's cool. And then that's it. I wouldn't be like ecstatic about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, this could have been a cyber end. At that point, you're mad, right? It's an ultra, and you got this. I feel you, but I think it is a cool card. Now, I would say I would much prefer Winged Kuribo regularly over this, like 100%. But I don't know. I think it's cool, especially when like you said, it's like a lot of shit going on right on the card. If you go to the EU ulti, a lot of the other background falls away and it becomes much more clear. But I don't know if that even matters to you. It's just it focuses it more nicely, I feel.
Oh, I'm looking at the EU Yeah, man, it just pops. Like I'm looking at it right now. Like the foiling is amazing. Oh, this is
Yeah.
actually the Asian English version. Okay, so yeah, I think the EU and the Asian English versions have like the same kind of foil pop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or like Japanese in general. Like Japanese ultis, way too cheap. Like just for how good they look. Like you could pick up a Japanese Wing Kuriboh level 10 probably for what, $20-$30, and it has that crazy pop to it.
Yeah. I mean, the one issue with Japanese is that, like, again, if you're a Western collector, it's mostly going to be Americans, and not every American collector generally wants Japanese cards, So it's
Yeah.
but
Yeah, just for collecting, like I feel like, man, would I rather have like 30 amazing looking ultimates from different sets, or just have one North American one. You know, it's one of
Yeah,
those
yeah, I
situations.
agree wholeheartedly. Especially like if you're trying to fill a nice binder and you're either gonna pay like 2,000 for this one card. Well, actually not 2,000, maybe like 700 for a nice raw, or you can have like a bunch of these Japanese for the same price. And I agree completely.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry, everybody. It just doesn't tickle my fancy, everybody. It
I
doesn't.
mean, that's okay. Imagine if everyone collected the same things. I would be very, very sad.
But now I'm interested to see in the comments. Like I'm interested to see what people say for Uforoid or Wing Kuribo level 10. Like
Oh yeah.
curious. Curious.
I'm sure most people will agree with you on Uforoid because like otherwise it would be way more expensive already. But
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
so now we get to the final daddy, the big boy, the best. We don't even have to argue on this one, I hope. Cyber End Dragon. The cover card, Zane's strongest ace monster, had an entire episode around itself. Um, it it is what it is. It was the biggest feared card. He would destroy everyone with it. I'll let you go first. Feel free to simp for him as much as you want.
Not much else to say. I mean, this is a card that is iconic. I remember when seeing the box art itself and then seeing, first of all, that nice blue border on the box, the blue background, and then you had that white metallic Cyber End Dragon, three-headed beast. And then when you found out, like, you know, it's actually like everything about it, like it's attacking the fence. Like even back then, what was this attacking the fence really high, right? Because this is for like the people that just collect. Um,
Yeah, 4K attack, and then with power bond double to 8,000, which
Yeah,
meant
that was like a beastly machine. That was the one like everyone I was trying to get it all the time. I was like, hopefully I can get it. Hopefully I can get it. Every time I pulled packs. May have pulled the ultra one day, but never ever pulled the ultimate. No words needed. And especially the Euro print. I would love to see how that looks. I'm trying to actually find if there's one online, but I don't see it.
incredible. I have 4 Euro print Cyber End Dragons now.
Whoa.
None of them are PSA 10. I can tell you that. They're all light play to near mint. I'm essentially trying, I don't know if I've ever told you this, I'm trying to get a master set of PSA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on Cyber End Dragon.
Whoa, dude, that's awesome.
I mean, it's hard as
Awesome.
like no one has bothered to send in poor Cyber End Dragons, right? Like, so it's gonna be a while, and I don't want to pay express for it either, obviously. But even in like poor condition, I gotta pay like 200 or $300 for them, which is
Yeah.
it's just sad.
You'll have to like what would suck if they give you twos and then you're like, okay, so like how can I like damage this card a little more
Yeah.
to the point where like they grade it, but they don't deem it like ungradable.
Yes, that's actually gonna be the challenge because it's not like we're in Pokemon or even in Yu-Gi-Oh with the blue eyes. There are plenty of ones because people will, they'll ship off anything, but this is more niche. So it's not like there's a bunch of ones of this. I don't even know. Are there ones?
I doubt it. I mean, I would
I
have to check the
I would
pop.
have to do it myself.
You know what?
Like
Actually, I'm right on the pop report. Let's see. No, there's no ones. The
Thanos
lowest,
putting on the gauntlet. Fine, I'll do it myself.
the lowest graded one right now, first edition Ultimate Rare. There's two PSA twos,
Oh,
and there's one four, two fives. All right, all right. There's a wide spectrum here.
yeah. There's no ones.
No ones, but two twos.
Isn't that a 3, or am I looking
Oh,
wrong?
maybe it's a three actually.
Oh no, you were right. You were right. There's no ones. There's no 3s. There's 1 4. Okay, so someone, if you own this card, hit me up. So I actually considered at one point when I'm close, when I have like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then have some holes. I wanted to film me trying to damage the card in the correct way and then super express subbing it to like get it in time for the video and basically like document the journey of destroying Cyber End Dragons until I have them all.
Oh my goodness. I would love that. I'd be in on it. I'd watch for sure.
So whenever you are garage sailing or anything and you see just a completely destroyed Cyber End, you're like, yeah, he'll love this.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Just find it like in a random binder or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just completely creased. I want them all. Yeah, that's my random collecting goal. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean this card, I can't sim for it enough.
It's
I think
amazing.
this will be, and I shouldn't say this because I don't have the 10 yet, but I think together with Shining Flare Wingman, this will be the most expensive GX card or the most sought after. Maybe there's some more rare GX card that will go for more purely off rarity or something like that. But just from a chase perspective, man, like this card.
Yeah, those two cards, the Shining Flare and the Cyber End, I mean, it's hard to argue against those two as being like the iconic grails of GX. What is interesting though is like, for example, Rise of Destiny or Flaming Eternity, or even Horus from Soul of the Duelist. Those cards are crazy hard to grade, especially Flaming Eternity and Rise of Destiny. So
Yes.
I would not be shocked if something like a Sacred Phoenix was on that same level and price as like these iconic cards. Just
I
because, yeah.
But the thing is, I personally, in my mind, I still don't accept Rise of Destiny and Flaming Eternity as being part of GX. But I know like most
Oh
people
yeah.
introduced to ultis and so, but like nothing in there except for I guess Arm Dragon is part of GX, right? Whereas to me, the Lost Millennium, it introduces Ancient Gear Golem and Flame Wingman, which were D2 cards of the first episode. So that was to me where GX starts, but I know everyone, says ulti started there, so that's GX. Um, but yeah, I agree. Horus will probably be the most expensive, I guess, because like it's just impossible. It's
It's
impossible.
impossible. Yeah. It's
Uh,
insane.
yeah.
Or the Sacred Beasts are tough too. I mean, but they're not like not out of control. I'm trying to think.
I mean, to me, the sacred beasts are basically what the god cards wish they were, because they are like these iconic things, but the god cards never got a main booster chase. It's always been this more awkward. Here's a promo. Here's a Game Boy thing. Never. I'm gonna open this pack and look for this card. Whereas obviously the sacred beasts with their ulti printing and Shadow of Infinity, it's just something different entirely.
So do you prefer the Sacred Beasts over the God cards?
Man, that stuff. Wow. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever told you the story of trying to get my Wing Dragon of Ra refunded. So I have like a kid story. I'm not gonna get
I
into
feel
the
like yeah, I feel like you said this on another episode. I'm just trying to
yeah,
remember.
possibly. So basically, I traded a Wing Dragon of Ra GBI promo, which was like my prized card, for a Serpent Knight Dragon and some other stuff. And then I wanted to get the trade refunded, so I went to cry to my mom, and she refunded for me. Um, so I have something with that, but I don't know. As a kid, I vividly remember using the Sacred Beast because they were actually playable, right? Not good, but like they were allowed in decks. And my brother had this Uriah deck that he would play at locals, and I think I'm gonna give it to the Sacred Beasts. Honestly,
No.
very weird. I think
No.
your opinion will be the more popular one. I think everyone simps over the God cards, and I love God cards, but I don't know.
No. Oh, dude.
Okay, let's go. Give me this rant. Let's go.
No, no, no. The comments will speak for themselves.
Yes. Oh, I know. Everyone's simping for the god cards, and I'm too. Like, so to give it on a point
Oh.
scale, right? And like I'm putting variety of cards like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and so forth. Like the god cards might be 9.9 out of 10, and then the sacred beast might be 10 out of 10 for me. So it's not like they're winning
Oh.
by a landslide or anything. It's
Oh. Yeah, for me it's like God cards are like 9 out of 10. Sacred Beasts are like 6 out of 10 for me.
whoa, my heart is bleeding right.
Like they're not bad. Like don't get me wrong. Like they're sexy cards and they're awesome. But
Mhm.
yeah, when I compare them to the God cards, I'm like the God cards were like the first of their kind with where Raw had like the attack and defense of like question mark, question mark, question mark, and then Slifer had like XO or XXOO, and then what was Obelisk? I don't even remember. Was that just like one question mark instead of four? Like I feel like Raw had like four question marks. Obelisk had like one question mark.
No, I
But I
think
could be
Obelisk
wrong.
was literally just 4,000. Am I
Oh, maybe it was
going?
4,000. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, Obelisk was 4,000. Yeah.
Oh, it was 4,000. Okay. So that was the
Yeah.
only one with
Ring of
the
Ra
actual
was,
attack.
yeah.
Um, And then the backs of the cards, like that was awesome. How they had the blue back, red back, yellow back, like that was amazing. Um, and then it was like something like this cannot be used in a duel on it, and it didn't even have the Konami logo in the back or
Yeah,
the
no
Yu-Gi-Oh logo.
factor, just
Yeah, no, those cards for me.
I'm a huge gold card fan, like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
man, sacred. I also have to say, like I said before, I never had like the crazy money to buy boxes, and and maybe I'm wrong, but I think my first proper box I ever opened was Shadows of Infinity because we were given that by someone high up at Upper Deck, like straight up.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I didn't pull. Wait, actually, we might have pulled Raphael in Ultra, and I
Hmm.
think Cyber Laser Dragon. I might be wrong, but I don't know. I have something with these things, but I don't own any of them. They were too expensive, given that I still like want to buy other stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would love to own all three. I don't own them, but I would love to own all three Ulti 10s, but those are just crazy, crazy now.
Yeah, I
Um,
wonder
to
how much
me,
they are.
like the God cards are Pokemon and the Sacred Beasts are Digimon. That's how I think of it.
Oh,
I feel
wow.
like they're like too modernized. I feel like the Sacred Beasts were like the original, and then these or the Egyptian God cards were the original. The Sacred Beasts were like just like modernized to oblivion. I don't know. I felt like they were just wannabe God cards to me. That's
I
just
mean, that
my
was
opinion.
all of them, right? Like, at least that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, wow. The stuff you learn on these podcasts.
Yeah. Hey, there's actually a pretty cheap one.
Oh my God, watch it be like an ultimate Uriah level or an ultimate Uriah PSA 8 for like $20.
No, no, no. It's a Raviel PSA 9 for 2.7. It's expensive, by the way, but like there's other ones listed for way more. So like that's not awful.
Yeah, imagine
Considering
we were just looking through eBay and then we just see like set of three Sacred Beast ultimate rares for like $20. Buy it now.
I mean gladly, but that'll never happen.
You never know. You never know. The Dark Magician girl I got was $30. It was $30 mint. And I got it. I was like, there's first of all, it was worth like played condition at the time. It was like 100 something bucks. And I was like, $30, hit the buy it now. And then it was $30, came back at 10. Like that was insane.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
I thought I was balling when a few months ago there was a Dark Magician girl, first edition MFC, mint, listed on eBay for 700 bucks.
That's nice.
And I bought it because so it was in Switzerland. So I assume that's why people from America didn't go for it. And I just thought like, wow, I'm stealing right here. So
Yeah.
it's being great right now, but man, 30 bucks. Do you still have that one?
Yeah, yeah. I had two at one point, two tens, and then I sold one for like $700 back then.
Oh,
Oh,
my heart, man.
yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt. But I kept as long as I kept one, I was like, all right, I'll keep one. We're all right. But I'm trying to think of other Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, oh god, there's a lot. Like I remember buying like Legacy of Darkness blisters for $3, like within 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Like it was crazy. Um, that could be its own episode on its own. Like
Just
that's
all the crazy, crazy buys and shit.
yeah, like the craziest buys. I remember seeing someone buy it was a bunch of Pokemon stuff for $80. It was like blisters of base set and they had a whole lot of stuff. Probably the best buy ever was a first edition Charizard I bought. It was like $100 something on eBay. It was like a buy it now.
Was
Which
it
is
like mint or what was it?
it was like it came back at 6. So that's still really good though for a first edge. I mean, that was crazy.
Wow,
But yeah, there's so many stories. There's so many stories of stuff.
that's
Yeah.
insane. You should probably get like Lewis on the podcast for that one as well. I bet he has some nutty ones.
He's got crazy ones, and Yamato too. Yamato's got some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay, so I think we can wrap up the episode pretty nicely here. Thought about the past. We've discussed that Uforoid and the Sacred Beast are Tim's favorite cards. Uh, I should actually hit up my designer and go, I have a matte idea.
Oh
The
no.
Sacred Beast I don't know how something with Uforoid just working together,
Oh,
taking
God.
down Exodia Necros. That's gonna
No, dude, no. Like you
but
make like a little segment and it's like Uforoid and it attacks and it just like blows up Exodia Necros, like just complete
yeah,
explosion.
yep, that's gonna be it.
Oh God.
Okay, so do you have anything that you still wanna add to this or
No, no, this was fun. Like I like seeing other people's views on these cards. Like that's what I love. Like I love how you like certain cards, I love certain cards, and then dislike certain cards. Like that's what makes the game like awesome. It really, really does. The different various artworks and preferences.
I
Cool.
agree. Like, everyone has these crazy stories, and you're like, "What? You like this? Ugh!" But that like that adds so much variety to it. I love it. Like, I'd be so pissed if Yu-Gi-Oh ever turned into all blue eyes, only blue eyes. We're all gonna only collect like that'd be so sad. Like, I love blue eyes. I'm a sim for it, but just these little varieties make
And
it
that's the
make.
thing with so many podcasts. I feel like people are just like, "Oh yeah, this is a nice looking card," and they're like, "Yeah, it's a nice looking card," or "This doesn't look nice," and they're like, "Nah, it doesn't look like." I'm like, "Come on, you have to have some
Yeah,
sort of opinion."
yeah, exactly. Like UFO is amazing, and everyone should have an
Oh
okay, I
my
think we
gosh.
can end it up here then. If anyone wants to check out Yu-Gi-Oh Tube on YouTube, they absolutely should. The other episodes go to his channel. It's basically one to me, one to him, one to me, one to him. So be sure to subscribe to both, essentially, if you want to have more Yu-Gi-Oh cast. And I will see you soon. Ciao.